Praise the Lord and welcome to Sunday Morning Christian Education. My name is Teraie Deloach. I attend Greater Bethlehem Temple Apostolic Church located on 4781 Hamilton Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio, where Bishop James Chapman is the pastor. Today's lesson is titled Obedience in Leadership. The lesson text comes from Exodus chapter 3 verses 1 through 12. The golden text reads, I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And that's Exodus 3 and 10. Google defines the word obedience as compliance with an order, request, or law, or submission to another's authority. In 1 Samuel 15 and 22, it states, part of it, to obey is better than sacrifice. Today's lesson speaks about Moses. When I think about the story of Moses, one thing that comes to my mind, is destiny. Because at the beginning of Moses' life, the king of Egypt tried to get rid of him. But God had other plans for Moses. He had a destination to fulfill. The king ordered the baby boys of the Hebrews to be killed, but Moses had a destination. His mom hid him for a while and later put him in a basket and put the basket in the Nile River so he wouldn't be killed. He was found in the water by Pharaoh's daughter and was even nursed by his own mother. Later, he grew up in the palace with the Egyptians. He had a destination. One day, Moses saw an Egyptian hitting a Hebrew, so he decided to kill the Egyptian. Moses thought he was helping out or doing a good deed, but he was rejected by the Hebrews. So Moses fled because the word got around to Pharaoh about the incident, and Moses feared for his life, and so he fled to Midian. He had a new life. He got married. He had 2 sons. He attended the sheep for his father-in-law named Jethro. Moses was in Midian for 40 years until his encounter with God. Moses had a destination. Moses was tending the sheep when he noticed a burning bush, but it wasn't being consumed. There wasn't any ashes. Boy, God sure know how to get our attention. So Moses went to look closer at the bush. The lesson says the burning bush was a way that God prepared Moses to listen to him. So now that God had Moses' attention, he spoke to Moses. He called his name Moses, Moses. And Moses replied, here am I. So Moses was ready. Anybody else probably would have ran away in that situation. God continued and told Moses to remove his shoes because he was on holy ground. Moses had to acknowledge God's holiness. God then said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. Moses had a destination to fulfill. God had a plan for Moses that required divine aid. We can't do anything without God. We should always seek Him first in everything we do. When we do things without Him, it could be a mess. We can depend on God. God told Moses He knew about the suffering of His people. He knew about the mistreatment. He knew about the poverty. He knew about the deaths and sorrows. He heard their cry. He is an all-knowing and all-seeing God. Nothing gets past Him. The lesson says God knew that his people needed deliverance from bondage, and he had come to Moses in order to set in motion the plan that would meet their needs. God was going to bring them out of that land. God was going to give the people an opportunity for a new life. The new life God was offering to them consisted of a land flowing with milk and honey, which meant it was a good place to raise their cattle, their sheep, and their crops. The land was big enough for everybody, all the tribes, the animals, everyone. God had prepared Moses for the task, and although Moses questioned it, God knew Moses was the one. He knew his way around the palace. He was better qualified than any other Israelite to stand in the court of Pharaoh, representing God. Moses' 40 years of leading sheep had humbled him to where he was willing to do the things God's way instead of taking matters into his own hands. Moses had also learned to follow advice from leadership from his father-in-law, and that prepared him also to follow God as well. Moses had a destination. He knew what God wanted him to do. He was to return to the land of Egypt and approach Pharaoh and lead the people out of Egypt and into the promised land. That was a destination. That was the task God had prepared him for all his life. God promised Moses that he would have everything he needed and that God himself would provide. God assured Moses that he would not be alone. God would be right there with him. He would give Moses the power to do miracles, and he would speak with Moses and give him direction. God assured Moses that when he brought the people out of Egypt, that he would serve God upon the mountain. He gave Moses a vision of the future and promised he would return to the mountain and worship as the leader of the Exodus. God has a plan or destination for everyone. But in order to fulfill the plan, we have to line up with God. Be obedient to his will and his word. You can't do things on your own because he knows what's best for us. He is the author and the finisher. We can't do anything without him. He cares for us. He knows what we are going through. He knows how to prepare us for the journey. Let him lead and guide you. He won't lead you in a ditch. Trust him and his word. Be patient and then just enjoy the ride. I hope I put something on your mind. Until next time, God bless. And also have a safe holiday. Bye.